Hello my friends, how are you? I hope everybody's fine. My name is Daniel Villarino, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the previous video we took a look at how to size a tenon for a piece that we were going to make, particularly a hollow form. So today I'm going to continue with the process. Basically I already have the tenon, so I'm going to do the hollowing and complete the form. And that's today's project. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get to work. The base for this hollow form will be sort of flat. I make some light passes to shape it. If one has a steady hand and skill with a continuous cut, the shape of the curve can be obtained. That skill normally comes with a lot of practice. But if you cannot obtain the shape in one pass, like often happens to me, you can approach the shape by doing a series of straight cuts, which with their faces will approximate the shape you want. And then you can perform some shear scraping to smooth the surface and provide continuity to the shape. When doing this shear scraping, I use the long sharp edge of the Irish profile. The flute is closed almost completely, and the scraping is done with the lower part of the sharp edge. The cuts are light and the handle of the tool is tilted towards the floor. You can see that the shavings obtained are very thin. This cut eliminates the edges left by the straight cuts and also the tool marks on the surface. Now I can concentrate in the top shape of the hollow form. Here I have to remove a lot of material, so I will be doing deeper cuts with the gouges flute pretty open and always rubbing the bevel. Please observe that the distance between the place where the cut is happening and the place where the tool is supported on the tool rest is pretty small. In that way, the tool rest will absorb most of the effort and the lever produced by the cut is easily counteracted by a small pressure on the tool handle. If you feel the tool jumping in the handle, which is more evident where you hold the tool close to the end of the handle, that means that the cut is either too deep or it is happening too far away from the support point of the tool. This, in the base of the cases, produces an uneven cut, and in the worst can produce a catch. If this happens, one has to move the tool rest closer to the piece or make a lighter cut, or both. Sometimes, when you have to remove a lot of material, you can make deep cuts in steps, and then work in eliminating these steps. This way, you can advance quickly to the shape that you like. Differently from the curve at the base, the one that connects the neck with the rest of the piece is towards the inside of the shape. In this case, it is more convenient to work from the external points of the curve toward its deepest part and make it from both extremes. In other words, to work downhill. Unfortunately, the wood was not as dry as I would have wished, and began to develop some checks. Here I am filling them with CA glue to try to stop the process and also to strengthen the wood. A few more shear scraping passes, and from there sanding from grit 80 to 600. After sanding, I eliminate any dust left with some denatured alcohol. To dry the alcohol completely, I rub a dry, clean paper towel while the lathe runs fast. The friction increases the heat and dries the alcohol. For the finish, I start by applying homemade abrasive paste. I rub it by hand in all the surface, and then I rotate the lathe at about 400 to 500 RPMs, so that the abrasive will do its work. Then I increase the speed to about 1000 RPMs, and I begin to apply cleaner parts of the paper towel to the work to remove the excess. After this procedure, it is ready to apply the friction polish. The first friction polish application I do it by hand. Then I turn on the lathe at a speed of about 2000 RPMs to generate heat by friction, and I begin to apply the next coats while rotating. Many times I let a coat dry between 15 to 20 minutes before applying the next one. can see I finish working on the exterior of the hollow form, and when I apply the friction polish and it generated some heat, you can see that some cracks appear there. It looks like this piece of wood wasn't exactly completely dry, but let's see what happens. There are some cracks over there. I can leave the cracks as part of the character of the piece, but this one here is probable that it's going to break when I make the perforation. If that's the case, I will have to do some design modification, probably make the neck a little shorter. I don't want to do that, but let's see what happens. Okay? To begin the hollowing process, I am going to make a perforation with a Forstner bit of 1.5 inches in diameter, around 38 millimeters, all the way to the depth that I want. For the neck, I am using a small round carbide cutter to be gentle with these cuts. Here I am increasing the starting internal perforation, and every so often I remove the shavings using the blowgun, the vacuum, or both. Here you can observe that the deeper I go with the cutter, the more leverage the rotating wood applies on the tool, and you can see that the handle is sort of vibrating. It is time to switch to a more stable and heavy tool. One great advantage of the hollowing king is that outrider arm that counteracts the force that it is trying to make the tool to rotate in its axis. This force is produced by the pressure of the wood being cut against the carbide cutter. Here, I began to use the spring as a reference. While the tip is pushed down by the rotating piece, I still have wall to keep cutting. If it begins to jump up and down, I am right at the wall thickness, and if it remains perfectly horizontal and still, I am cutting thinner than the wall thickness mark in the tool. Every so often, I inspect the work with a flashlight and I take measurements. am setting the position of the cutter and the spring. Here, I am showing that the way that the cutter and the spring are placed is dependent on the sector of the ball where I am working, and it has to be changed when we work in the internal part of the shoulder and for the lateral wall and for the base. The thickness of the wall is set by the line that connects the tip of the cutter with the tip of the spring, the shortest distance between both of them. And the ideal position for cutting is when the connecting line is perpendicular or almost perpendicular to the ball surface. A close inspection of the interior shows that the internal wall is pretty even. The internal sanding is done up to where you can reach with the fingers, and beyond that point with the help of a rounded tip stick which has attached a sandpaper on the tip. As you can see, the tenon size in the way that we did held really well. Now I am going to hold the hollow form by the neck using a smaller set of jaws. Since the neck is not a tenon in itself, designed to hold the piece, and since I am using paper to avoid damaging it, it will take a few tries to achieve a rotation without the shape wobbling laterally, but with a bit of patience it can be done. The idea is to move slightly the position of the life center, and sometimes also helps to soften the pressure of the jaws, rotate the piece a bit with respect to the jaws, and then retighten. All the process that follows now is to shape the base in such a way that the curve looks nice, and then to take advantage of the large tenon to use it to shape a nice foot for the hollow form. I make a perforation of 1.5 inches in diameter to accommodate my bronze maker's coin. I got these coins online from www.coinsandpins.com. You can see the site's name below, and I am going to include it in the video's description. They did a great job in representing my logo, and I think it is a pretty elegant way to show who made the piece. If you want contact information for coinsandpins.com, please send me an email to my address in the description. Okay, my friends, I have finished making the hollow form, and as you can see, the piece is beautiful. The color of the wood is amazing. It has all those yellows and pinks and oranges and reds and some violets even in the border over here. It's a piece that was a little bit wet. It was not 100% dry. I think that's the reason why it developed a few cracks, which I fill with CA glue here on this side and also on the top right there and around there. So hopefully they are not going to keep spreading. Let's see what happens. What I did is the interior I sanded all the way until I reach with my fingers, and also I apply the friction polish, and I try to sand the bottom and the sides using sandpaper that was stuck in a piece of wood, a rounded piece of wood, to sand that part. But it's a little difficult because of the shape of the hollow form to reach the sides. In any case, what I did is I applied a little bit of linseed oil inside, and I have been rotating the piece. I think you can see probably a little shiny there. I have been rotating the piece so that it will protect the wood from the inside. The base, let me show you. I have here my coin, and I work this sort of a foot with that detail, and that will provide nice support to the piece. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. If that's the case, please mark the like button down below, make comments, and if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so. And it will be until the next one. Cheers!